Hi everyone, it's me Gamer Maddie, and today I'm talking about Disney Dreamlight Valley's biggest story update, the Remembering. There's a lot of new content for us to jump into, so let's not waste any time. Here are the timestamps so you can fast forward to whatever part you want. First, I will talk about what Disney Dreamlight Valley is and give a general recap of the story up to this point. Then I will give a spoiler-free review. If you haven't started or finished the new quests, I highly recommend watching this part of the video because I'll talk about things you'll need to complete the quests. After that is where I'll go into a more detailed review of the story. I'll show videos of me playing the story while talking about it. I'll also tell you what some of my initial reactions were to random parts of the story. Finally, I will talk about other aspects of the update, like the new mannequins and the Pixar Star Path. I'll give you a minute to pause and skip to the part you want. Disney Dreamlight Valley is a Disney game that was released last September and is available on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, Steam, and Xbox. The gameplay is very similar to Animal Crossing, but with Disney characters instead of animals. I highly recommend this game for Animal Crossing fans because it has a lot of features we've been begging Nintendo for in New Horizons, like bulk crafting and more storage. There's also separate storage for furniture and clothing that is so convenient. This game also has a much longer storyline than Animal Crossing, so you never really run out of things to do. The Remembering update is the conclusion to this part of the storyline. Quick recap of the story. It begins similarly to Stardew Valley, where you leave the city behind. In Disney Dreamlight Valley, you go to a, quote, familiar place. Then you go for a quick walk in the woods and take a nap. You fall asleep and wake up in Dreamlight Valley. You talk to Merlin and discover that you have magic powers. He explains that Dreamlight Valley is covered in these thorns called night thorns because of the forgetting, which happened after their old ruler abandoned the valley for some reason. It's called that because the night thorns made the characters lose their memories. As a result, literally the entire population of Dreamlight Valley, minus Merlin, Mickey, Goofy, Scrooge McDuck, and a few other people that were trapped there, leave. There's also these things called pillars that are powered by magical orbs that protect the valley. Of course, none of the pillars have the orbs because they kind of would have stopped the forgetting from happening if they were still there. Also, you have to put him back. Merlin demands it. I'm kidding, he doesn't demand anything from you, although he puts the entire valley's well-being on your shoulders because you have magic, therefore you have to solve all the valley's problems. You learn from one of the other characters that the forgetting didn't just happen, but was actually caused by someone named the Forgotten. You first see the Forgotten face to face after restoring a river in the Sunlit Plateau. After unlocking the Glade of Trust, you learn that you were the Dreamlight Valley's old ruler. And the Forgotten is the part of you that you left in the valley when you were the ruler long ago. Now with this new update, we can go confront the Forgotten before they, do something bad. Now for a quick spoiler-free review of the story's ending. One thing to clear up first. Just because the forgetting has come full circle with the new update, the Remembering, doesn't mean the story in the game ends, just this chapter of the story. There is much more of the game to come in future updates. In this update, as shown in the trailer, we're finally going to see inside the pumpkin house. You also get a new character, Fairy Godmother. When you first meet her, she'll have a few quests for you, and the only thing you'll need to have are 5 purified night shards, which you craft with 5 night shards and 1 dream shard. If you don't have night shards, you can either get them from these glowing holes in the ground, or craft them using 1 onyx. I wish someone told me that you could craft them, because I didn't have enough night shards and went crazy looking for them. Then I happened to look at the crafting part of the collection tab, and saw that I could make night shards. Of course, that was after I wasted 5 minutes, desperately trying to find night shards. As for dream shards, the easiest way to get them is by removing night thorns, which are everywhere, so you'll have no problem finding them. After Fairy Godmother's quest, you'll have to talk to Merlin, who will have another few quests. When I played the update, I didn't know that you had to go talk to Merlin after doing Fairy Godmother's quests, so I thought I had to level her up to get more quests. I was both right and wrong in my theory. Leveling her up did get me a quest, but it was the quest to put out the fires in the Forgotten Lands, which required listening to Fairy Godmother talk to Merlin, which is also when I noticed the new quest icon floating above Merlin's head. So if you wanted to confront the Forgotten and finish up that storyline, go talk to Merlin as soon as you're done with Fairy Godmother's quest. The only other thing I'll say you need in preparation for this update is to level up your characters. Specifically, Mickey, Scar, Elsa, and Moana. I won't say why. Now we'll talk about the story aspect of the Remembering update, which is the biggest story update we've had in Dreamlight Valley so far. People who don't want spoilers, now is your last chance to at least pause the video to give yourself time to decide which one of my videos you want to watch instead of getting spoilers in this one. Okay, they're gone. Now I will talk about the story. When I first played Dreamlight Valley after getting the update, I got this little cutscene with the pumpkin house. So I went inside and I met Fairy Godmother. She is really sweet. I love her already. I already mentioned what happened with literally the first part of the quest, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, so I'll quickly sum it up. She asked me to make 5 purified dream shards. I didn't have enough night shards to make them. I completely forgot that I could just craft them with onyx, and didn't realize it until I looked at the crafting part of the collection tab just to double check the recipe for purified dream shards, and then noticed the night shard recipe. I was a little mad I forgot something so important, but then I realized it was the Forgotten. They used their magic to make me forget that I could craft night shards so I wouldn't have the purified dream shards needed to stop them. The video game characters messing with my memories in the real world. Or maybe I just forgot because I hadn't played the game for like a few weeks before the update dropped. Who knows? Anyway, I gave Fairy Godmother the purified dream shards so we can go to the dreamscape. Then she told me to meet her at the mountain in the middle of the Forgotten Lands, but I genuinely had no idea where that was, so I just followed Fairy Godmother to the smallest mountain I've ever seen. So I told her basically that, and then we got the dream house we saw in the Remembering trailer. We go inside the treehouse, or dreamscape, and it looks beautiful. The Orb of Remembrance is in the middle of the room, but I can't grab it yet because its power has grown dim. The next part of the quest was really easy, just picking up the memories to reveal part of something larger that the Forgotten meant to hide. But we saw the Dark Castle in the trailer, so it's no surprise what it is. The Fairy Godmother insists on me reliving the Forgotten's memories. I entered this part of the quest with a "this mama is ready for trauma" mentality.
Now off you go, bibbidi bobbidi boo.
I entered the first memory, and I'm immediately like, how the heck did I get so depressed? Like, I think we skipped a memory or something. We seem to have skipped the part where the Forgotten was me, and then slowly started to become this. I mean, the Forgotten has their trademark crown, wings, and green eyes. Even the directions for the quest have an attitude. Anyway, I gather the ugly flowers to make some kind of bouquet, whatever, and craft a hideous bouquet. And the game won't let me give it to Mickey. Mickey's over here giving me the silent treatment. Okay, I guess I have to give it to Minnie myself. I could have given them to you! Or we could have made it together! Dude, you were giving me the silent treatment! After yelling at Mickey in my imagination, I had to go talk to Goofy. He wanted me to gather ingredients so I can cook a meal for us to share. Okay, easy enough. Rotten carrot, rotten tomato, and rotten clams. What the hell? Why is everything rotten? I'm actually a bit concerned that the only food that can grow here is rotten vegetables. Like, are these people starving? Maybe that's why everyone left. Not because their memories were getting picked at, but because there's no food. Mickey, Goofy, why'd you guys stay here? Smart move, Goofy. If you tried eating it, I would have stuck my hands through my monitor to slap the dish out of your hands. Now Minnie wants something? I'm kidding. She wanted to tell me I'm loved? I'm gonna start crying. Minnie needs to be protected. Did the Orb of Friendship just fall out? Oh, I guess that explains why it was there when I first played the game back in September. Oh dear. Very strong emotions coming from the next memory. I guess it's time for emotional damage. I wonder who betrayed me. Mother Gothel! Okay, I gotta get this out of my system. I hate her. The creator said every character in the game is the latest version of themselves, which is why Elsa is in her End of Frozen 2 outfit, and Anna mentions being queen when you first talk to her, just to give a few examples. If that's the case, then why is the dead woman here? She died in the movie! So why is she alive and well here? I've been asking myself that question since the day I met her. I guess if the creators want the latest version of each character, then Mother Gothel's gonna get killed off eventually. That'd be why we haven't gotten Rapunzel in the game yet. Anyway, she wants me to rip the orb out of the pillar? Why do I look so pleased with myself? Like, I look so happy I just ripped this thing out of the pillar. What are you talking about? It made no difference, bitch. She mentioned Rapunzel. So if Rapunzel was in the valley before the forgetting, then wouldn't everyone hate your guts because Rapunzel was kidnapped and imprisoned by you? And I wouldn't trust you at all if that were the case. Ooh, I actually imprisoned her. I guess she wasn't lying about that. Still, that was well deserved. Fairy Godmother, are you defending Mother Gothel of all people? Of all people. You're even sweeter than Minnie. You need to be protected too. Every dang time, I run into the portal and then realize I have to talk to Fairy Godmother before going in. Up until now, I've had some respect for Scar. Like, yeah, he's a lion who threatened to eat the other people in the valley and he's power hungry as heck. But he wanted to rule over the Sunlit Plateau, which is the one part of my valley I have no clue how to decorate. Not that any part of my valley is decorated, I just have no clue how to decorate this one part of it. So I thought, it's a small price to pay to let Scar rule that one land as opposed to the entire valley. Now I'm rethinking that, and I plan to unlock the Lion King realm and get Simba and Nala back just to piss Scar off. Scar doesn't want this pillar active either, I'm noticing a pattern. Now I have to crush flowers because I can't just rip this orb out. Because if you remember from the ridiculously long quest to put the orb back, the orb of nurturing is a big pain in the ass. It's either going to be there until you destroy local wildlife, or it's going to refuse to be put back until you restore local wildlife. So of course, just crushing flowers wasn't enough. So I had to plant small bits of darkness that are supposed to be seeds near the Dreamlight tree. I don't have Simba, so I guess I needed to unlock him to know what the Dreamlight tree is. Because I've never heard of the Dreamlight tree. By the way, I was having some issues when I was planting the seeds. It wasn't counting in the quest as planted until I watered them. So I guess you have to water them for them to be planted. That's the Dreamlight tree? I have literally never seen that tree before. I probably need Simba to get it. Finally, the orb of nurturing fell out. That is one stubborn orb. Wait a minute. I should have learned from my lesson from that last memory of Mother Gothel that I shouldn't give this memory to Scar. What the hell, Scar? You son of a bitch. When I'm done reliving this memory and defeating the Forgotten and all that, I'm gonna get Simba back to put you in your place. Yes! Yes, again. Well deserved. Wait, why is Merlin here? Oh, he's literally talking to me about the magic of friendship.
Oh, goodness.
Oh! I think we already knew the Forgotten lived in the Dark Castle, like, from the time we saw them go in that portal and run there. Time to go grab that orb.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me. I was laughing so hard at that. One thing that was never really explained was how the heck did the Orb of Remembrance just end up in the Dreamscape? Anyway, the Forgotten took the orb and went back to the Dark Castle right before this cutscene. Is that the f***ing rift from Gravity Falls? Holy Find Fairy Godmother, she's gotta have a plan. Or so I thought. Wait, what? Wait a minute, what's the waking world? Oh, never mind that, we got bigger fish to fry. So you have no plan. You're just gonna leave me here on a cliffhanger with the sky opening up over our heads right now? Or so I thought. Funny, when I first played the update, I thought that was it. I just had to wait for the next update for more. Obviously, I was wrong. In my defense, the game never explicitly said to go talk to Merlin, so I had no idea. Luckily, I eventually got a little spoiler that made me realize the story doesn't end here. Before I continued, I had to take a moment to beat up Mother Gothel and Scar the only way I can in this game. Running into them with a pickaxe.
Sunshine.
And I talked to Merlin. He pointed out the rips weren't just in the sky, but in buildings. That's gotta be terrifying for anyone living there. Just imagine you were chilling in your living room watching this video on your phone, when all of a sudden there's a rip of dark magic bleeding through the very fabric of reality in your house. You wouldn't like that. Anyway, we go into Mickey's house to introduce us to the next part of the quest. Finding random objects infused with dark magic inside people's houses, and then talking to the person who has a story with the object. There's 4 of them. One inside Mickey's house, Scar's cave, the cave in the Frosted Heights, which is actually called the Secret Chamber. I didn't know that till now. And the cave in Dazzle Beach where you first met Ursula. Why so many caves and then we just have Mickey's house?
Hey there.
I mean, it makes sense that one of them is Mickey's house. He's one of the first characters you meet, so he's a main character, I guess I could say. So for storytelling purposes, his house should have a rip of dark magic in it. Scar's cave, on the other hand, we shouldn't have Scar be a part of trying to fix this unless both him and Mother Gothel are involved and their actions of betraying the Forgotten to set them up on this bad path are acknowledged, and Mother Gothel and Scar genuinely want to be better and try being helpful to redeem themselves for their past mistakes. But that didn't happen. Instead, one of the 4 people we have to hear an important story from doesn't really try to be helpful. Although I do admit I like Scar's dialogue when he talks about the drawing. Scar knows how watching someone else rule over all the light touches while being consigned to the shadows feels, which is similar to how the Forgotten might feel now, hence why Scar said to show the Forgotten a bit of mercy. But it still doesn't make up for him and Mother Gothel's bad actions not being addressed. Moving on, the cave in the Frosted Heights, the secret chamber, has a third object, being a blanket. It also has a story behind it according to Olaf. And the cave in Dazzle Beach where you first met Ursula has beach toys. Ursula said Moana actually has a story behind them. To be honest, I feel that the 4 characters chosen to have these important stories were chosen at random, because we have a weird mix here. We have one main character, Mickey, one villain that I already told you why it doesn't work, and 2 Disney princesses that are unlocked from realms. Why they were chosen, with the exception of Mickey, doesn't make any sense to me, because one is a villain that I already explained why he alone doesn't work, and the others are 2 characters from the realms. Why these 2? I don't know. And by the way, I haven't even started to talk about the longest part of the story quest in this update. In order for the character to remember the important story to save the valley, their friendship level has to be at 10. I was already at level 10 with Mickey because he's been there since the beginning, so I got to that level of friendship over time. I was pretty close with Scar, who was at level 8 when the update came out, because he was one of 2 mining buddies I had, and I used to mine a lot to get money from selling gems at Goofy's stall, until I moved on to pumpkins. Moana and Elsa, on the other hand, were less close to that goal. Moana was at level 6, but Elsa was at level 3! Level 3! It took forever to get them leveled up. I spent time with them, gave them gifts they wanted that day, and did the friendship quests one by one as slowly as they came. This felt like a huge pain in the butt. This was my least favorite part of the story, just like grinding to level up these people. So basically, eventually, I heard all 4 stories and brought the Forgotten Relics to Merlin. And we get this sweet moment when Merlin says he's proud of me. Then it's time to go to the Dark Castle and fight the Forgotten. When I entered the Dark Castle, I got this really cool cutscene that almost makes all the painfully long hours spent leveling up characters worth it. Almost. Inside the Dark Castle, we get a series of puzzles, each one open a different door to eventually get to the Forgotten. I enjoyed solving all the puzzles. They weren't too challenging while also not spoon-feeding you the solutions, so they are just the right difficulty for me. The solution to the first one is to open this dresser and take a clothing bag which has the Forgotten's old cardboard wings in it. Then you have to go to the other side of this room to go to the other dresser to get the other clothing bag with the cardboard crown. That makes sense, I guess. Anyway, you put on the cardboard stuff and the door will let you through. The next door needs to be fed and it's a picky eater. If you find the note in the makeshift kitchen, it will tell you what kind of food Doreen, that's the door's name, likes to eat. On the counter, you'll find 4 ingredients that are all grown in the Dark Castle, I think. You don't need all the ingredients, just the lettuce, salt, and thorn sprout, because Doreen doesn't like having bad breath, which can be caused by eating garlic. This will make a night thorn sprout salad, a 3-star recipe, so it's pretty good. Just for fun, I tried using all 4 ingredients to see what I would get, and Dark Castle goo clearly does not compare to the 3-star salad I made, so I fed the salad that Doreen was let in. The next door has a note right next to it stating that the blink of a mechanical eye will make the door appear. To do this, you take out your phone and take a selfie with the wall. The final door has a lock on it. It seems simple, doesn't it? Just find the key and you can unlock it. Wrong! There are 4 torches hidden near the door you have to find and then place on the pedestals based on what time of day is represented in the symbol on it. The torches melt the ice holding the key, so you have to fish for it. Now it's time for the final battle, which lasts about 5 seconds. Before the Forgotten and I are looking at our shared memories, we go to 4 different things: a sandbox, a bed, a desk, and a bookshelf. We approach it seeing it as we remember it, but this is not how the Forgotten remembers it. After using our magic on it, we can see what the Forgotten remembers it looking like. Remember, the Forgotten is part of our childhood we left behind and forgot about. As time went on, the sandbox, bed, desk, and bookshelf stopped having things like toys and art supplies on them because we grew up. The Forgotten mainly remembers the things from our childhood on them, like the 4 forgotten relics, Moana's beach toys, Elsa's blanket, Scar's drawing, and Mickey's storybook. I fear Dreamlight Valley is nothing but a dream, and that one day, the game will be over and we'll wake up in the middle of the woods, wondering what the hell that dream was. I mean, that's literally Woody on the bookshelf. Anyway, I think this is a really refreshing take on the villain gets defeated by talking to them instead of fighting trope. The Forgotten is a part of the player and shares the same childhood memories. And after revisiting those shared memories, the Forgotten realizes that growing up doesn't have to mean leaving important things to us behind, and that the stories of our childhood contain love, kindness, and acts of care. And as long as we remember those stories, the things we loved about being kids won't be forgotten. So together, the Forgotten and I stop the spell they cast, and we get our happily ever after. Until Jafar and a to be continued, in front of this diagram that's in the Dark Castle. Like I said, this chapter's over, but not the whole story. After all that, the Forgotten was happy to be accepted by everyone in the valley. They said they need time alone to process, which is understandable, but I hope we see the Forgotten become more active in the next chapter of the story. For now, the Forgotten gives back the Orb of Remembrance, which after being placed in the pillar, finally makes the vines on the castle disappear. Oh, but there's still night thorns. They still grow. You'll never get rid of those pains in the ass permanently. Then Merlin gives the usual, there's still more to the story kind of video game dialogue. The Forgotten goes back to the Dark Castle, but left the portal open so we can visit them. When you keep playing the game after the story, eventually you'll see the Forgotten, just walking around your valley. Sometimes the Forgotten is just walking around the valley, and sometimes they're in their castle. Whatever works. They're clearly an introvert, they need that time alone, which is perfectly understandable. I'm an introvert, I get it. After I visited the Forgotten, I discovered something in the Dark Castle, one of the orbs in an out-of-reach location. Or so I thought. There's a thing in the ground right next to the first door, and going through the door here leads you back to the Forgotten. The orb goes in the pillar on an island in Dazzle Beach, which makes the ground glow around you after putting the orb back. Also, a quest starts. I had no idea what to do. I assumed this was set up for the next story update, but after looking at the Disney Dreamlight Valley wiki, I realized those symbols match the other orbs. You're supposed to move the pillars to the spots shown here. By the way, the Orb of Nurturing has this giant tree attached to it. Because the Orb of Nurturing is a big pain in the ass, it just has to have a tree of it. Anyway, I move them back, and then what happens, you ask? You talk to Merlin and the quest ends. That's it? Kinda disappointing. I think if it's supposed to be set up for the next story update, the creators should have left it out of this update, since having this be the last story quest and the biggest story update feels a bit underwhelming, especially after we got the satisfying conclusion with a little cliffhanger earlier after defeating the Forgotten. Overall, I think this is definitely Dreamlight Valley's best story update, because although there were a few annoying parts, the story delivered a really great conclusion. I'm not mad about the cliffhanger, because I think it's necessary to have it here to remind players that the story isn't over, just this chapter of it. I'm excited thinking about what's in store for Dreamlight Valley next. Luckily for now, we have other new exciting things in this new update to talk about. The Remembering didn't only give us the ending to the Forgetting storyline, it also introduced a lot of new features to improve daily life in the game. The first one I want to talk about is the new mannequins. There are 6 of them total. Each requires similar resources to craft. Both of the relaxed mannequins require 15 hardwood and 15 fiber. The thoughtful black mannequin and hesitant white mannequin need 15 softwood and 15 fiber. The chin-up white mannequin and hand-on-hip black mannequin need 15 wood and 15 fiber. I'm noticing a pattern of 15 fiber per mannequin, so if you want to craft some mannequins, you're going to need seaweed, which can be caught fishing in open water away from ripples anywhere in the valley. You could also craft seaweed from red algae, which can also be found fishing away from ripples anywhere in the valley. Keep in mind, crafting seaweed from 1 red algae gets you 5 seaweed, and crafting fiber from 1 seaweed makes 5 fibers. So you're going to have a lot of stylish mannequins in no time. There is one more thing you need to know about them, which I had no clue about until I saw it on the Dreamlight Valley wiki. It said a maximum of 5 mannequins of any type can be placed in a single room. If the mannequin is placed in the furniture inventory, the mannequin is reset to its initial state and the saved outfit is not maintained. Fiber, hardwood, softwood, and drywood are needed for a lot of crafting in Dreamlight Valley, so don't waste all of them on mannequins, unless you have a big house of 1,000,000 rooms. Speaking of houses, you can now place as many as you want in your valley. This is great, especially if you spent moonstones buying some of the variants. I mean, I did. A new nightmare castle, in fact. I placed down a few of my homes to test out this new feature. I entered one of them to find an empty room of one chest that is shared with the house that I used. It's a darkwood vintage chest, which is pretty cool because whatever you put in it can be accessed from any other lighter darkwood vintage chest in the game. You go on free of your house when you first start, but you can buy more at Scrooge's store. By the way, Scrooge's store has new stuff. I haven't seen any of it yet, but I heard a lot of it is pumpkin themed. I want to briefly mention the Dapper Wally Dream Bundle. I bought it and started the quest, but I haven't finished them yet. The awards for this one look really good, and Dapper Wally is very, very cute. Wally is one of, if not my favorite character in the game so far. He's adorable, and when he's wearing the Dapper outfit, he does this cute little dance. I love it. Moving on, the new Star Path, the Wonder of Pixar Star Path, will be here until August 6th, so you will have plenty of time to get the items you want. I'm honestly not a big fan of Star Paths because a lot of the exclusive limited time stuff is behind a paywall, and I don't think most of the things you can get are worth the amount of moonstone you have to spend. That said, I don't like the Star Path much. It's probably one of the better ones I've seen, but still not that great. A few good things here are the Red Panda onesie, Fiery Raven Companion, and the inside-out design motifs that are Joy, Sadness, and Bing Bong in 2D based on that part of the movie when they go for the shortcut. As usual with Star Paths, most of the items you can get are design motifs. I didn't really like design motifs, but that might be because I never tried designing clothes or furniture with them. Luckily now with the new update, we got the expanded Touch of Magic feature, which allows us to customize clothing and furniture with design motifs. I tried it to see if design motifs are any good or a waste of time and money. It was pretty cool. I still don't think design motifs are worth paying moonstones and doing the Star Path for, but the ones you get from leveling up characters or opening a yellow loot bag work well on the furniture and clothing items you can use Touch of Magic on. My favorite clothing item is the Mickey ears. I made a really cute Wally one. As for furniture, I don't really see how you can customize a chair. Only a few of the furniture options are actually any good, and most, if not all the good options, need to be crafted. Unlike the furniture, there are a lot of good clothing options with Touch of Magic. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and I'll probably make more Dreamlight Valley content in the future, so subscribe to this channel and ring the bell so you'll be notified when I make a new video. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!